Coming to you straight from the Rio Grande and beyond, broadcasting to the four corners of the globe. So grab your seat, your coffee, or your sundowner.
Okay, everybody, here we go.
On point, as always. This is Gloves Off. Gloves Off.
All right, guys. I want to go ahead and start this off. If Judge Nathan can help me out for a little bit. And back when we started Gloves Off several years ago, and he'll help me pass some stuff out. We kind of said, what direction is Gloves Off going with? What are we trying to do with it besides it being a podcast just to inform others? It's also to appreciate others that we have in life, and those that actually care for us. And back in 2020, we were going to do it, but of course everything was shut down. So 2021 kind of flew around by us. And this year, throughout the different people that we interview, the different folks that we meet, we start seeing what they do and how it touches a community. We have a vast array of individuals. And not only public officials, we have small businesses, we have nonprofit organizations, we have businesses that have been here for a long time, they're more into philanthropy than anything else. And that helps out. And I said, we have to give back. This year was going so fast, we had already planned, we had already said, and I said to myself, you know what? What day is it last week? I go to work, it's almost over, let's get it done now before it gets out of the way. So we kind of had certain different polls, asked different people to shoot down who we had interviewed, who had come up front, who has done something, where's everybody at, okay? So one of the posts, one of the how can I say, categories was a business that's committed towards education. Whether it's a gymnastics school, martial arts school, tutoring school, who are the ones that are touching our kids the most for them to change, for them to go forward? You know, a lot of people say, you know, everybody has to get straight A's. Maybe you're not going to get straight A's. Maybe the most important achievement that child does is get a B. Understand? And that's all he can do, but that's what he strives to do. So we have to look at all the accomplishments that occur. And this award goes to Dr. Dolores of the SouthTexas Tutoring Center. Should I say something?
I just want to say that I'm very honored to be able to receive this award, and I want to thank Paul for acknowledging people in the community. I've been an educator for over 40 years. I chose that field because I love children. And even though I retired, I still wanted to continue to help the children in this community because I'm not from Laredo, but I stayed in Laredo because I really love Laredo. And I love the people, and I think there's a lot of potential here, and I'm very appreciative of this honor. Thank you very much.
As we go through with small businesses, there's businesses that create jobs for others that have gone through, and there's some that do it in different formats, because you know there's a lot of competition, there's a lot of businesses out there. But there's some that just spring up, and you might not even understand that, you know, they need to all these fields to be filled up, and all of a sudden that's what we're going for. And all of a sudden you start seeing a growth in employment and so on and so forth in that sense. It might be people that help out stranded cars in the highway. Something that we're not thinking about. But all of a sudden now you have a niche. Now you have how can I say, you have a business that can support that. And that's basically what this is for. This award goes towards Mr. Turner and SouthTexas GateGuard. They can tell me what they This next award comes close to me. A lot of folks don't know I'm a checklist chef by trade.
I love this place.
And this is for the new restaurant of the year, and a restaurant that has gone up there and picked, like I said, picked a little niche, opened it up, and brought it here. They studied from it. If you haven't been to that restaurant, it's just around the corner. Ramen Kai, would you please come?
Great place. Congratulations.
What's the name of the restaurant?
We just need to work on your parking.
Yeah, very small. Nobody will get a beer.
That's great
The
food.
name is Ramen Kai.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so we're right around the corner whenever y'all feel like eating ramen. We are the only ramen shop in Laredo, so we have no competition yet, but I think ours is the best. We've gone out of town multiple times, me and my wife, and that's the reason why we brought it to Laredo. So we always have to go out of town, so we brought it to Laredo. So that's why we.
Where is it exactly?
It's 5216 Springfield Avenue.
Okay.
So just go down Springfield before you get to the Washington, or you would just turn right into it.
Oh, okay.
And I can pretty much tell you I've tried all the ramen in town.
Thank you.
And we did a couple of things which I posted, you guys can follow on the story and why and how they did, how they followed for the ramen. It's very interesting because a lot of people don't know that you can see it on Gloves Off. It's an episode that I'll repost it after everybody why. But congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And we did polls. A lot of people don't believe in polls anymore because of the elections, but anyway.
Yeah.
A blue wave and a red wave.
Yeah. A lot of people from Laredo City Cemetery voted.
All right. Thank you.
The next one is for an individual that's been around for a long time in businesses. And here it is. And he has helped out many individuals, not only organizations, but he helped out others. And he's always one that wants to be helped. And this goes out to Mr. Celestino Marina.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. That makes me very proud.
The last two, we had 75 people that voted. Okay, and there was 2 people that came exactly with 27 people voted for this one person, and this 27 voted for the other person. So we had somebody that's an equal time, and so we have 2. Okay, so. And there's a reason for that because they've always stood steadfast throughout everything that Laredo has been through. And they have been there, not only, I've seen it personally, helping without a doubt, regardless of political side or view. They're there for the community. And this goes to 2 of the public officials who we said the best elected public official, which ended up this year with 2 individuals. One, a dear friend, and my brother, Richard Raymond.
Thank you for representing us. You do an awesome job. Thank you, brother.
And the other one for U.S. Congressman. Come on.
We're tied.
This is great. Well, y'all want to say something?
Yes, I'll say a few words on behalf of Congressman Henry Cuellar. He is extremely honored, and it's an honor to be receiving this award. And I want to thank everybody here that made this recognition possible, Gloves Off especially. And thank you so much. And we're here to serve our district. So anything that anybody ever needs, please let us know.
Well, I congratulate Congressman Cuellar as well, and works in the district office, and his daughter right here, who is one of our favorites. I just want to say, Paul, also, that I very much appreciate Gloves Off. You know, we, and Henry is the same, we like to talk about the things we work on. We welcome people asking us questions. We welcome people giving us ideas. I guess I've seen some politicians who, and this is where we're politicians. If you're running for office, it's politics, you're a politician, it's okay. You know? But there are some that don't want to be there. They don't want to talk about, what they're working on or why they're doing something or not doing something else. And I love that Paul does that here in Laredo. The other members of the press, or press who covers us, they'll ask us questions. They'll be very, very brief interviews. I mean, you might see the congressman on a news story and on TV, and they'll have a talk for about 5 seconds, 7 seconds, 8, and you're like 10 seconds, right? And it's not much different with the newspapers and so forth. With Paul, when he started doing Gloves Off, I loved it, and I still love it. I really enjoy it. You'll sit there, and you'll get in depth into issues that are affecting the community, the state, the country. And I'm very proud that we have that in Laredo. And I imagine, Paul, that other people will start doing it at some point, because you've become the pioneer here. You've gotten it going, and I think you're informing more and more people about the political process, about public policy, about the things that we're working on. You and I have worked on the issues. We passed a bill out of the House of Representatives. It was something Paul brought to my attention. We started working on it. It took us several years. We got out of the House. We almost got out of the Senate. We didn't. We will this time. And but those things come about because people step up and they care, and that's what you've done with Gloves Off, and I very much appreciate it. And I know the congressman does as well. As I said, if you've ever been around Congressman Cuellar, he loves to talk about what he's doing. He loves to get into the substance of the issues. He always has. I'll say this. People probably don't know this, but Henry and I have known each other a long, long time. We met when I was 22, and he's a couple of years older than me. And I'm 62 now. So do the math on that, right? That's how long we've known each other. And I met him. I was working on the campaign, and then I went to work for you as senator. And I remember Henry called me, and he said, "Hey man," he said, "I'm thinking about running for state rep. What do you think?" I said, "Man, what I tell you, Nathan, when somebody asked me, that I want to run for office, I will never discourage someone." And I was excited that this young man from Laredo wanted to run for the legislature. And I've had experience working on campaigns. I kind of told him some of the things that John looked at doing and so on and so forth. He ended up getting elected. Then 4 or 5 years later, I ran and I got elected, and we served together. So we've been great friends for a long, long time, and I appreciate the recognition. This is very nice of you. We don't really do it for this, we really don't. We do it for the folks that we represent, and I feel like that you do that with your show as well. So thank you.
They have to take this one as well. He couldn't make it. This is for Team Texas 2503. This is an award that goes to an organization that's trying to change the service or what's going on in the community. There's a lot of problems in there, and Team Texas 2503 was started by George Saldana, and as Judge Nathan knows very well, there's a lot of issues when marriages break up and people leave and so on and so forth, and there's custody battles with the kids, and you can't see them this weekend, you can't see them that weekend, or you're not going to see them whatsoever. and issues that I had and others, and then I started finding out that it's not just one person, it's actually an attack towards the non-custodial parent. So 2503 is actually a law that you placed in, which is actually a law that it's interference with child custody, which is actually a state jail felony, which to the day it hasn't been enforced. There's been not only parents killed, kids killed, everybody else. So that's something that we've been trying to fight for, and our representative stood up and said steadfast, and we're going to change it. So we have to all, as a community, change that because how can I put it? You don't want something like that to happen to somebody that you love, a kid of yours, a child or your nephew or somebody that you like, and you love it. They grow up, they go through this, and you're going to see them get torn apart. And it's worse on what happens to women as it does happen to men, but in men there's a lot of stuff that's going on. In the last month, across the United States, there have been 5 killings that exchange that. One here in Texas, and so it's something that we have to stop. Unfortunately, it happens, but we have to. With more education, I think people can work around things. It's also
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very, very important issue, and we had Paul brought my attention and other people. We've gathered folks from all over the state. We've met up at the Capitol. We brought in district attorneys from all over the state. We've met up at the Capitol. We've met with them, and they're here and in Corpus Christi and other places. And really, finally, I remember during the pandemic because we started doing meetings with Zoom. We were on Zoom, and Councilman Martinez was on there. He said something just. We worked on this for 3 or 4 years, and it was hard. Couldn't move the ball. And something just clicked, and I said, why don't we give cities more authority? We give cities more authority. We don't make it mandatory. We say you can do it if you want to do it. You can enforce this if you want to enforce it. And the idea just kind of took off. And at first we were getting opposition, and then all of a sudden the folks from the city of Houston said, yeah, we like it. The folks from the city of Dallas, yeah, we like it. The folks from the city of Dallas, yeah, we like it. And it took off. That's why we were able to get it through the House. And, our sessions are not long, and unfortunately, sometimes bills get held up for different reasons. This time, though, our strategy is we're going to try to pass it out of the Senate first, right? I don't care if it's a Senate bill, it doesn't matter to me. Get it out of the Senate first, and then we can get it to the House pretty quickly. And so, but all of that started because of efforts like Paul and because of discussions like you have on Globe Talk. So I appreciate it, and I know Henry does too. Christy's here representing your dad, and she does very well too, so you can interview her next time.
And this has taken off into a lot of things of what Glove Love is for, and what are we doing, and what the academy is, or where it's going in space and time. A lot of things change, and something that's happened in the last several months that a lot of people are talking about, a lot of people don't want to talk about, and it's an issue that we're going to face. We're going to be doing an event to feature young kids come back. Let's hit the road straight. Let's see if we can grab them from 9th grade, 10th, 11th. Let's start teaching them respect, and we'll be having a summit. It's called Let's Bring Back the Handshake. And a lot of people say, no, it's only for men. No, women can go, young girls can come as well. Everybody talks about something called toxic masculinity. There's also toxic femininity, but then we should always just worry about how about just toxic behavior in general.
Right.
And let's just start making it just toxic behavior, whichever way. It doesn't matter what does it. It should not be tolerated. So we have to start understanding how to push that forward and how to change kids and start making them leaders, because they're the ones that are going to be leading this future. That's what it's all about. So number one, I want to thank you all for what you all do.
Thank you, brother.
Continue doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you all.